This is the iDealBed 4i custom adjustable bed base. And honestly, just looking at it in person, you can tell it's got that modern, solid design. It's big. The king-size model I have here runs about 80 inches long, 38 inches wide, and stands 14 inches from the ground. The whole thing is finished in a sleek, dark gray powder-coated color, and what I love is the cloth cover. It hides the metal bits and just makes everything feel more like a real bed than a hospital contraption. When I first saw this thing, I was a bit intimidated by its size and the idea of plugging machinery into my bedroom, but from my experience with using it over several weeks, I found the setup, features, and even the little details are actually pretty impressive. Let me give you a quick review of what stood out to me using this bed, especially if you're new to adjustable bases. The key feature for me is the full articulation, so adjusting the head or the foot of the bed up and down as much as you like, within a pretty big range. You can lift the head up to 70 degrees, and the foot up to about 42 degrees, which is really comfortable if you want to sit up to watch TV, read, or just get your feet up after a long day. There's a solid rubber beading across the top, so my mattress actually stays put, no sliding around, even when I'm moving everything up and down. I've tried this base with a standard king foam mattress, but based on what I've seen, it should work with hybrid, latex, inner spring, or even air mattresses, as long as they're not over 14 inches thick. Assembly is a point I worried about. I'm not exactly a handyman, and the box was heavy, close to 80 pounds and bulky enough that getting it into my room took a bit of effort. Once out of the box though, the actual setup was easier than I expected. It's mostly tool-free, just attaching legs and plugging things in. Bigger task is moving the base into the right spot, so if you're not used to heavy lifting, definitely have another person handy to help out there. About the wireless remote, this is one of my favorite little luxuries. It has a backlit panel, so even in the dark I can see what I'm pressing. There are 18 buttons, which seemed overwhelming at first, but everything is labeled. I use just a couple regularly. Zero gravity, which raises your knees and head in a way that feels almost weightless. Anti-Snore if I want to open up my airways a bit at night. And a flat button to reset everything to normal. It took a few nights before I remembered what did what, but now it's pretty much second nature. For basic use, I found I was just picking my spot, hitting memory to save it, and going back to it whenever I wanted without fiddling around again. Honestly, the ability to save your favorite positions is just so convenient, especially when I get used to one perfect way for reading and another for sleeping. A big selling point for me is the built-in massage feature. To be clear, it doesn't feel like you're getting a deep tissue massage at a spa, but it gives you a gentle full-body vibration with 3 levels of intensity and 4 different massage modes: wave, pulse, constant, and you can set it to run for 10 to 30 minutes. For someone who likes to unwind, it's that added touch, making it feel more premium than just an adjustable platform. I turn it on in pulse or wave mode with medium strength while winding down at night. It does make a faint humming noise, but for me, it's quiet enough that I just zone out and relax. If you're sharing the bed, only the side you activate will vibrate, so you're not shaking the whole mattress. One thing I noticed, this bed has dual USB chargers and also a USB-C port built in, so charging phones and tablets right from the side is super easy. The only complaint from my experience is the ports are slightly tucked away. So, if you're not used to reaching down blindly, you might have to peek under the edge to plug things in the first few times. Not a deal breaker, but could definitely be smoother. Something I was skeptical about at first is how much noise the motors would make. A big selling point for the iDealBed is its whisper-quiet operation, and while I wouldn't call it absolutely silent, the motors make more of a low whirring sound, like a refrigerator running, not loud enough to wake anyone up. There is a slight hydraulic sound when you do bigger lifts, but if you're worried about noise disturbing your sleep, it's really nothing major. In my opinion, one of the unsung advantages here is the sturdy frame. I'm not a heavy person, but I know the whole thing is rated up to 850 pounds, so if you have a heavier mattress or more than one person using it, you shouldn't worry. It doesn't creak or wobble, even with the head and feet up. The legs give you different height options, 4, 7, and 11 inches. I keep mine at 7, but if you like storing stuff under your bed, the tall setting comes in handy. About maintenance or moving it, since the iDealBed 4i doesn't weigh much compared to some adjustable beds, and with the included casters, you can actually wheel it around a bit if you need to clean under it. That's helpful for me, since I'm always dropping socks or charging cords back there. I'd recommend this for anyone who deals with sleep issues like snoring or acid reflux. With my own experience, the anti-snore setting actually helped minimize vibrations that used to keep me up when my partner tossed and turned. The zero gravity setting is fantastic for back pain. At first, it felt like a gimmick, but after sleeping with my legs raised for a week, I started waking up with fewer aches. I don't have major health problems, but for anyone with circulation problems or chronic pain, I can see why folks find this helpful. As far as things that could be improved, I'd say sometimes the frame flexes if the mattress isn't laid evenly when I adjust positions. It's minor, but noticeable if I'm sitting too close to one edge. Also, if you're not a tech person, the remote does have a bit of a learning curve. I spent a couple of nights hitting the wrong button and getting launched into TV mode at midnight. Not ideal. Once you get it dialed in, though, it's just as easy as pushing a button. Another note for people who aren't planning to do tech extras: you can connect your phone via Bluetooth to control the base, but I ended up sticking with the remote. It's always close and just more reliable in my experience. From my experience, this bed isn't just about luxury. It actually translates to everyday comfort for things like reading, working on my laptop, or even just getting in and out of bed without a struggle. It fits regular king-sized sheets and looks like a real piece of furniture, not some gadgety eyesore. I debated for a week before finally getting a base like this, but now I see why people want them. It's about having that comfort that fits you, not just a flat place to sleep. In conclusion, the iDealBed 4i custom adjustable bed base hits the sweet spot for anyone who wants a blend of comfort and modern features without a ton of hassle or tech headaches. Whether you want better sleep, help with health issues like snoring or back pain, or just a more luxurious spot to watch shows, this base covers the bases. There are tiny drawbacks, mainly during the setup and learning all the features, but none of that takes away from how much more comfortable my nights have become. I will leave detailed information about the iDealBed 4i custom adjustable bed base in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.